What's up, guys? Thanks for stopping by again. Today we're going to have a pretty quick video here for another free code camp basic algorithm scripting challenge. This one is called a slasher flick. I don't know why they chose to name it that, but it's actually pretty simple. And all we have to do is use one JavaScript function to solve it. But before we go do that, let's go and look at the instructions here. Our goal is to return the remaining elements of an array after we chop off a certain number of elements from the beginning. Um, and we can do that several different ways. Obviously, there's a lot of ways to kind of go about getting this solution, but I was doing some research and I decided to use the splice method or function here. And the reason I decided to use it was because it literally does exactly what we wanted to do. It says the splice method adds or removes items from an array, and then it returns the removed items. Okay, and this is actually important down here. The fact that this method does change the original array. Most of the functions that we deal with, they don't alter the original array. Instead, they just create a new one. Well, this one actually does change the original array. So keep that in mind as we go back over here to the code. And as you can see, I literally have like one line of code to complete this entire challenge. But and all I do is, well, I create a new variable. I call it new array. You can name it whatever you want to. And I call the array that's passed into my function. And then I call the splice function onto that array. And if we go back over here, we can see that the splice function actually takes in an index, which is where we have to start adding or removing, and then a number, which is literally the same as the one that's passed in for us, of how many. This number declares how many elements we actually want to remove from this array. All right, so all we have to do is declare a start position, which we want to be positive since we're going to start chopping from the beginning, and then just declare how many we want to cut off. And this example down here passes in an array, and we want to obviously start at the beginning, so 0. And since this number is 2, all we have to do is pass in this variable as how many we want to be chopped off. So if we were to just run that, basically the value of new array would be this new array, which holds 1 and 2. But we don't want to return this array. We want to, remember, we want to return the remaining elements from the array. So basically, if these two are getting chopped off, we want to return this array, 3. And thankfully, since this splice method does change the array, it changes the original array. All we have to do is return the original array, because after we run this splice method, the original array would only have whatever's left. So if we just go ahead and run that, literally that's that simple. So thankfully this was kind of a simple challenge, quick to follow. Hopefully the solution does help in any way if you had trouble with it. But other than that, thanks for watching. Comment below if you have questions and subscribe.